Well, on tonight's broadcast of the Black Channel, the boys are back in town. They're pulling no punches, and I couldn't be happier about it. Let's get into this. The Black Channel is live. Unapologetic, unadulterated, and absolutely uncompromising. Greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world, and welcome back to the home, the haven, the stronghold, and the everlasting superfortress of intelligent black thought. This is the BlackChannel.net radio program, and I am, of course, your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. We're just going to go ahead and jump right into this tonight. Last week, a lot of people were hitting me up, making comments, saying, Jason, did you hear Roland Martin? Did you hear what he said? Did you hear it? Jason, did you hear it? First of all, y'all are talking like this Negro is really that important. That's the first thing. But the second thing is, naturally, the dead black media is attempting desperately to dig itself out of the ashes and is attempting desperately to reestablish something resembling relevance at this point. So it shouldn't be any surprise that Roland Martin has decided to just go completely full-blown coon, but you need to understand the context in which it's occurring. So what I'm going to do here first is I'm going to play the audio for you from this horrendous MSNBC panel that was talking about Kamala Harris. They're trying to boost her numbers to make it seem like there's a horse race in the Democratic Party for president, when in reality it is, as all elections are, a fait accompli. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play for you the audio of him during this panel on MSNBC. I'm going to play it for you so you can hear what he said. And then I'm going to go ahead and tell you what it all really means here. So here's the audio of Roland Martin speaking on MSNBC. Boy, oh boy, did he really go and tear it this time.
Alter Susan Del Percio and Roland Martin. Roland, you first here. Don Jr.'s spokesman told the New York Times, quote, that Don's tweet was simply asking him if it was true that Kamala Harris was half Indian, because it's not something he'd ever heard before. And then once he saw folks were misconstruing the intent, he quickly deleted it. What do you make of this?
Donald Trump Jr. is Fredo, and he clearly can't read a bio. All he has to do is go read the bio of Senator Kamala Harris, then you'll understand her background. And so he is probably the dumbest of all the Trump children. But here's the real issue here. The attacks on Senator Kamala Harris's blackness really started the moment she announced. And where it's really coming from, this is black self-hate cloaked in black self-love. There are people out there who are saying that because she is not a descendant of slaves, she really can't speak to the black experience. They dismiss the fact that she went to an HBCU. They dismiss her actual background. And that's what the real issue here. There are black people out there who are angry that who say Obama didn't do enough for African Americans. And what they're not doing is demanding really policy questions. They're questioning her blackness. You even have some fools out there who are black, especially a lot of black men, who are criticizing her because her husband is white. And so I understand that folks are talking about Donald Trump Jr. retweeting this, but really, you've got some asinine black folks out there who are the ones who are questioning her blackness, and they are shameful, and they are despicable, and then they should be called out at every turn.
I'm not going to say that there's a lot to unpack there, but I am going to tell you that I want you to understand exactly what you're hearing here and why MSNBC brought him on when nobody else would. These people don't bring you on by accident. They bring you on because they know what the hell you're going to say and they know what the hell you're going to do. So now you've all heard the clip yourselves. So let's go ahead and examine this. 720 degrees, 10 ton, as only the black media can do it. So, but first, what I want to do is I want to address the 9,000-pound elephant in the room. The first thing I want to address is the fact that he went full coon after black men. Attacking black men. That was what he did. So I want you all to examine, we're going to examine that part first. Let's just take on the big piece of it first. The first thing is, why would Roland attack black men when he in fact is one? Why would he do something like that? Well, let me tell you the first reason why. Remember what I've taught you all years and years ago? Do you remember what I taught you all? That if you want to know what a black person truly believes in his heart of hearts, if you want to have the ultimate lie detector or the ultimate truth serum injected into a black person's veins, all you have to do is find a white person to ask that black person any question you want asked. Because black folk will not lie to white people. And by the look of this panel, as you can see on your screens, Roland Martin is surrounded by white people. Surrounded by them. And with this many white people asking him questions, he gave his truthful, honest answer. He said what he truly is, and he said what he truly believes. And that's what he did. You put him in front of a group of white folk, and it was truth serum. A group of white people got him to finally say what it is that he truly thinks and to declare what he truly believes. And what he told you all is that he's not a black man, is what he told you. The essence, the upshot of everything he said is, I'm not a black man. I'm an other. He's talking about black men as if he is on the outside. And what I'm saying is, this is why we have been saying that the descendants of slaves have to be distinguished, because this is typical of individuals who do not trace their lineage back to the killing fields of American slavery. This is typical of them. This is typically what occurs. Because they're not connected to the soil. Pardon the expression, but it's reality. They're not connected to the soil. Now, if you will all remember, if you think I'm being hyperbolic here, oh no, Roland, I came with the flamethrower to roast your big round ass. Since you like talking about your big bulbous ass so much lately, well, I brought the heat for it. If you all will remember, when Roland Martin was confronted by none other than white supremacist arch-fiend Richard Spencer. One of the, if not, and at that time, he was the preeminent white supremacist of our day. When Roland Martin spoke to Richard Spencer, do you all remember what happened when Richard Spencer confronted Roland Martin and asked him, "Are you a black man?" Well, let me go ahead and remind you what it was that Roland Martin said when Richard Spencer asked him, "Are you a black man?"
I like the term alt-right, first off, and I also like the term identitarian because it gets at what I am and what I believe.
And what is that?
Identity is at the heart of my ideology. So
and what's
you have
that
to
identity?
Race is a foundation of that identity, undoubtedly.
Now race is simply a creation of mankind. That's a construct. It doesn't exist. I mean, bottom line is, no, I know who I am. First of all, I'm Roland Martin. I'm a man.
Okay.
I'm a man.
Do you identify as a black man?
Oh, first of all, I identify as a man.
Okay.
Identify as a man.
Sexist?
No, actually, it's not sexist because if a person is a woman, identifies as a woman.
Okay.
So I'm a man. I'm a Christian.
Uh-huh.
So Roland Martin, when confronted by Richard Spencer, let me go ahead and play that again for you one more time, because I want you to hear clearly here what Roland Martin said when Richard Spencer asked him, "Are you a black man?" And you all tell me if Roland has remained consistent on this point, because I declare to you tonight he has.
That's a construct. It doesn't exist. I mean, bottom line is, no, I know who I am. First of all, I'm Roland Martin. I'm a man.
Okay.
I'm a man.
Do you identify as a black man?
Oh, first of all, I identify as a man.
Okay.
Identify as a man.
Sexist?
No, actually, it's not sexist because if a person is a woman, identifies as a woman.
Okay.
So I'm a man. I'm a Christian.
You can't run from that, Roland. You can't run from that. You can't hide from that, Roland. When you were put on the spot And when the preeminent white supremacist of our time asked you, are you a black man? You denied being black. You argued with him that you are not black. You made it clear to him that you are not black. You do not see yourself as a black man. You see yourself as a man. You see yourself as a Christian, but blackness isn't a part of your identity. This is what you said in front of Richard Spencer. But brothers and sisters, Richard Spencer is a white man. Richard Spencer is a white man. He is truth serum. Richard Spencer is truth serum. He is a white man. And when this white man, doesn't matter who the white man is, but when this white man asked Roland Martin, are you a black man? Roland Martin denied it. He fought the question. He refused to identify himself as a black man, and that is why I say tonight, as I have been saying now for years about Roland Martin, he is unqualified and illegitimate to speak about black people because he ain't one of us. By his own concession and his own admission, he's not one of us, so he needs to shut the hip-hoppity hell up discussing black people. You're not a part of our discussion, Roland. You need to go speak to the men. You need to go speak to the Christians. You need to go speak to the Americans. Those are who you need to go speak with, because that is who you have identified yourself as. You need to go speak to them. You ain't got no point over here and no business over here speaking to our people. And when I say our, I'm referring to black society, not you. You have no business speaking on my people. You've got no business speaking on the subject. You're out of line. You have no place to speak and no legitimacy. And that, brothers and sisters, is why he is raging. That is the reason why he went on MSNBC, went full coon, and was attacking black men. The reason that Roland did that is because Roland Martin, number one, is not a black man. And number two, Roland Martin is acknowledging that he has been completely, thoroughly, and totally disinherited and disowned by black men. That's what he's acknowledging. Roland Martin is acknowledging that he has been disowned by black male society, that he has no respect among the men. So he's now no longer trying to fight for respect among the men. Roland Martin has abandoned that because Roland Martin has been exiled by the men. He has been excommunicated, for our Catholics out there. He has been excommunicated by the black men of black society. As I told you all in videos years ago, show me the young black males who are saying to themselves that they wish to grow up and be Roland Martin. That is the type of black male that they want to see themselves as. Take a look at this picture here and you show me who's doing it. You tell me who is identifying as Roland Martin and saying, that's the man, that's the type of black man I want to be. Show me the young black men who look up to him with the esteem and the majesty that they did Malcolm X and Dr. King, Fred Hampton. Show me where he's been able to get that type of respect and prestige and esteem. He never has. 30 years of bucking, dancing, of playing the banjo, playing the fool, and he has nothing to show for it. So what he's telling you all is that he has surrendered. He has surrendered on the idea that he is ever going to be respected by black men. And so now, in the grand tradition of coons, cowards, and traitors throughout history, he has now thrown in his lot with massa, is what he's done now. He's thrown in his lot with white society against black people, and specifically black men, because he knows does not have the respect of black men. He doesn't have the respect of the men. He can't sit among the men and talk about the battles he's won, Because we're going to sit there and say, hey, wasn't you the nigga literally buck dancing for Hillary Clinton? You have no respect among the men. So he's now attacking the men. This is the Revenge of the Outcasts. Roland Martin is an outcast. Roland Martin is a pariah. Roland Martin is someone without respect. He is a man with no country. And this is his idea of getting revenge. Is what he thinks he's doing. He thinks he's going to get together with white society since he's not strong enough and has no influence and no ability on his own to punish black men. He's gotten together with white society and says, I'll get together with them and they'll get you. In the grand tradition of Sambos throughout history, that Dr. John Henry Clark just talked about this. They go to white society because they are powerless in black society. And I would like to thank everybody who has contributed to tonight's broadcast. It is going to be a barn burner, but thank you to everyone who's contributed to support tonight's program. Thank you as always. Now, what I want to do here is I'm going to go back and I'm going to play the audio of this again. I want to walk step by step through this with you, so that you can understand exactly what he was saying here, so that we can deal with this step by step, so you understand how heinous it truly is. So let me go ahead and start the audio here again, so you can hear it from the beginning, and I'm going to stop so you can see the step by step through here of exactly why this is so venomous and this is so heinous.
They are slamming as racist and completely deleted it. What do you make of this?
Donald Trump Jr. is Fredo, and he clearly can't read a bio. All he has to do is go read the bio of Senator Kamala Harris, then you'll understand her background. And so he is probably the dumbest of all the Trump children. But here's the real issue here. The attacks on Senator Kamala Harris's blackness really started the moment she announced. And where it's really coming from, this is black self-hate cloaked in black self-love. There are people out there who are saying that because she is not a descendant of slaves, she really can't speak to the black experience.
Now, first of all, Roland just went on a screed of lies because he doesn't actually have anything with which to substantiate this bullcrap he says. So he went on an unmitigated screed of lies. Nobody said that Kamala Harris's background and her lineage was the problem. We talked about her policies. We have spoken nonstop about her policies, her actions as Attorney General, her actions as Senator, and her actions as a person. But we've talked about her policies and how she deals with black society, not about her lineage. So Roland doesn't have a leg to stand on here, but that is not preventing him from telling outright lies. But of course, he really has to, because there isn't really anything else for him to stand on. So of course, he's going to begin by saying lies, and the hosts are not going to interrupt him on that because he was brought on. Roland, do you realize how far your fat, silly ass has fallen? That they have literally brought you in to be the comic relief. They have literally brought you in to be the Negro puppet. Roland, as I told you all before, Roland is desperate for a gig, Freudian slip. Roland is desperate for a gig. Roland is desperate for a job. Remember what I told you all, if the TV won, Roland Martin is put up a sign that says Will Coon for food, which is what he's doing. Roland Martin is cooning for food. Roland Martin is making it clear he's going to do whatever he got to do to get in. He's going to do whatever he has to do to make a way for himself. And so now he's just outright sold his soul, and that's what he's going to be doing. So he has accepted basically that Fox News, when they bring Negroes on Fox News, the pet Negro on Fox News, Roland Martin is now the pet Negro on MSNBC, the flip side, the liberal, so-called liberal side of white supremacy. And so he is here to earn his paycheck and to make it clear to them, you ain't got to worry about me. I'm on top of this. I'll take care of them Negroes for you, boss. I'll take care of them Negroes for you. And that's what makes Roland such a heinous, gutless, despicable piece of filth at this point. because he's running in here saying, I'm going to do Massa's dirty work for him. He is willingly and consciously declaring that he's going to do Massa's dirty work now for him.
They dismiss the fact that she went to an HBCU. They dismiss her actual background.
She went to an HBCU. The HBCUs are irrelevant and pointless. But he's saying this in front of a white audience. You have to understand, these words are not for our consumption. These words are for the consumption of these people that he's speaking to. It's for their consumption, not for ours. It's not for our consumption. So you have to understand, people, take a look at who the HBCUs have cranked out. The HBCUs, can we just keep it all the way real? The HBCUs in the last 30 years have been nothing but factories that crank out coons, crank out bedwenches, hell, crank out white supremacists. Shout out Rachel Dolezal. The HBCUs are not cranking out a black leadership class. So for him to try to sit up here and say that is as ridiculous as saying, well, Strom Thurmond had a black daughter. The HBCUs do not serve us. The HBCUs are not creating a black leadership class and never have. So, but he's using that phrase for their consumption, not for ours. This is to smooth things over to the white audience, not among black people, because that's not what it's for and that's not what it's designed to do. But yes, it is utterly ridiculous to bring up the HBCUs. It's absolute nonsense.
They dismiss the fact that she went to an HBCU. They dismiss her actual background. And that's what the real issue here. There are black people out there who are angry that who say Obama didn't do enough for African Americans. And what they're not doing is demanding really policy questions. They're questioning her blackness. You even have some fools out there who are black, especially a lot of black men, who are criticizing her because her husband is white. And so I understand that folks are talking about Donald Trump Jr. retweeting this, but really, you've got some asinine black folks out there who are the ones who are questioning her blackness, and they are shameful, and they...
I want to let that sink in for a few moments, what he just said. Let me play that one more time so you can hear that.
The folks are talking about Donald Trump Jr. retweeting this, but really, you've got some asinine black folks out there who are the ones who are questioning her blackness. And
so when MSNBC asked Roland Martin about Donald Trump's son's comments, Roland Martin flipped it and turned it into a commentary attacking black people. Did you all understand how absolutely heinous and atrocious this bug-eyed baboon bastard is? They asked him about Donald Trump Jr. They asked him about a white man, and he immediately flips it and says, no, the problem ain't the white man. The problem is black folk. That's what you white people got to understand. You got to understand you not the problem. White people ain't the problem. You got to understand black folk is the problem. Yes, of course, I could do it in my Roland voice. You have to understand, black folk is the problem. Black people are the problem. That's the problem. You have to understand, it's black people, and especially these black men who don't show me no respect and don't let me in and keep mocking me on the internet every day. They the problem. Do you all understand that that's literally what he just did? They asked him about a white man's racial comments. And he said, no. The problem isn't white people. The real problem is black people. Does that sound familiar to every white supremacist on Fox News and everywhere else who tells you, no. The problem isn't the judicial system and police brutality murdering black people. The real problem isn't white racism. The real problem is black racism. Do you understand that? The real problem is black racism, is what he just told you. Roland Martin just sat there in front of a panel of white people for the purposes of getting his in with them. and getting in good with them, and sat here and sold his fat, flabby, slobby soul. This jughead, dumbass idiot sat up here and sold his soul and turned an interview that was about white men's comments and said the white people are not the problem. It's black people that are the problem. Brothers and sisters, this is not just controversial. This is controversial. These are controversial comments. I want you to understand that. Roland said this because he is declaring openly that if Hillary Clinton isn't handing out any more Coon prizes, that he's looking for a Coon prize anywhere he can get it. So he is now advertising his services as the bought and paid for nigga that will speak against black people. And that's why he's up there on your screen right now with a panel of white people. But I want you all to understand something. You don't see 3 white people up on your screen right now. You see 4 white people on your screen right now. There are 4 of them. There are 4 white people on that screen right now. And nobody protecting or advocating for the interests of black people. Please understand what you're seeing on your screen. There are not 3 white people, there are 4. And he has now openly declared himself as an enemy of the people. Openly. Openly.
They are shameful and they are despicable, and then they should be called out at every turn.
Now, what Roland did is he wanted to milk this. He wanted to milk this for all that he could. Because if you're going to follow in the footsteps of Coleman Cruz, and if you're going to follow in the footsteps of buck dancers everywhere, you're going to have to do the damn thing right, is what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to do the damn thing right. And if you're going to do it right, then that means that you are going to have to betray the people at every level. But you're also going to have to milk it and come back and make sure that people understand that you weren't speaking sideways. That's what you got to do. You have to do that. But because Roland is a coward, what he then does is he attempts to get other black folk to come in and help him, is what he attempts to do. So when he realized he had stepped in it, what he did was he went on his YouTube channel. And by the way, Roland put up this video 4 days ago. The video has 16,000 views after 4 days. 16,000 views. He's got 275,000 subscribers allegedly on YouTube, and yet his video only has 16,000 views. We'll have 16,000 views tonight on this program. That's why you mad, Roland, because we are the black media. And that hairline, by the way, that hairline looks like vampire fangs on top of your head, my dude. That looks like the Cobra symbol. You know, from G.I. Joe? I'm not even joking right now. Take a look at Roland Martin's head up here. What's going on, my dude? Take a look at that. Doesn't his hairline resemble the Cobra symbol from G.I. Joe? You know, the 2 fangs at the top? If you all think I'm being mean, I'm not being mean and I'm not being petty. I just noticed. By the way, it does look like 2 Cobra fangs up there. I guess he's auditioning for an action figure? Maybe? I don't know. Could be. I just thought it looked a little odd to me. Then again, what do I know? All right. Fine. Never mind. I guess Destro is going to show up any moment now. Better him than Roland. I'll trade Roland for Destro. Hell, I'll trade Roland for Zartan at this point. Now, when Roland was on his own channel, this is what he said on his own channel, making a video trying to follow up on it. Okay, I'm queuing up the audio here. Roland was very quick to get on his own channel and try to milk this for all it was worth. And he had some choice comments taking swipes at everybody on the internet who has replaced him and the old black media. He is none too happy about it. He is completely salty about it. And he was just letting it fly at this point, that he understands he has been replaced. He took swipes at everybody down the line. He took swipes at everyone in the hopes that we would talk about him, because he thinks if we talk about him, he's under the mistaken impression that that's going to drive views to his channel and that that's going to drive views for his videos. And in reality, because we've been able to successfully explain to people exactly the type of skullduggerous, dirty individual that he is, this notoriety is not fame, it is infamy. Roland's not famous now. Roland is infamous now. And he doesn't really have a way of being able to deal with the fact that at this point now, he has become infamous. So he's really trying to do what he can to get as much attention on this as he possibly can, because he's auditioning for something very, very deadly and very, very dangerous. He's auditioning to be the white supremacist's best friend. He's auditioning to be the white supremacist's pal, is what he's doing. He's auditioning to demonstrate to the world just how committed he is to undermining black people at this point, and doing masses dealings no matter what they may be. So while everybody else may be too shy and everybody else may be too afraid to discuss it, or may be too afraid to do it, Roland is making it clear that no, I'm making my play to be that guy. I'm making my play to be that dude. I'm making my play to get into those circles. Because as I told you all before, there are only a couple of token positions left. They don't have a token bench anymore. They don't have a bench for the tokens anymore. That's not what's happening. They don't have a bench that you can go and, okay, we're going to go ahead and do that. That's not what's occurring. All the easy cheap seats, Omarosa had the last easy seat. She got the last easy seat that you could get access to for the plantation. Omarosa was on the last easy one. There are no more easy seats to get anymore. At this point right now, you got to fight your ass off to get a seat anywhere. Roland is determined that he's going to try to get a seat somewhere. He reminds me of an old hooker who's trying to figure out if she can hustle them draws one more time into her 60s, is what he reminds me of. He's trying to figure out if there's one more person who needs them an old hoe to come and carry the water, is what he wants to do. Is there one more person who's willing to do that? And if there is, let me see if I can get them to put me to work, which is what he wants. Now, I've been trying to queue up the audio for this here. It's kind of frozen on YouTube is what it is. It's kind of frozen here. If it's not going to play, then I'm just going to go ahead and skip past that. For some reason, it's not playing. But Roland on his YouTube channel was talking about how it's all these black men who are responsible. He started caping for Kamala Harris's husband. And I got to tell you, there's nothing more pathetic than a black male who becomes the human shield and the crash dummy for somebody who has their white privilege to rely on. There are a few things I can think of that are more despicable than that. Very few things I can think of. And in this situation, what in the hell, Roland? What the hell? But that's what he did. Now, he took some shots at Boyce Watkins. He named Boyce Watkins by name. And then he egged on his panel to attack Boyce Watkins. He was talking about these Negroes who say that they have an agenda. Now, that was Roland taking a direct shot at me. That was Roland taking a direct shot here at the Black Channel. When I said a few weeks ago that reparations This is the first time that we as black people have had an agenda as a people, that reparations is the agenda, and the politicians are upset because we've actually adopted an agenda. So Roland is now sitting up here trying to talk bad about having an agenda. Now having an agenda is supposedly, allegedly, a bad thing now. Having an agenda is a negative. What does this tell you? This tells you that his talking points come from the top. His talking points come from the top. That's what I want you to understand. Roland Martin's talking points going after us specifically, that comes from the top. They're saying that because this is where it comes from. It comes from them. This is them saying, okay, Roland, these are the punches that are getting through. These are the body blows that these people are throwing that are getting through. And we need you to go out there and specifically address those. You got to go out there and talk specifically about those. You can't sit here and be innocuous on it. You have to talk specifically about those talking points. They are saying that Kamala Harris is not legitimate. They're saying that she's not really a black person. Now, let me deal with this not really a black person thing. When Kamala Harris was elected to the Senate, they were saying that she was the first Asian American senator. Remember? They were saying that she was the first Asian American senator. Now, here's the critical point. At what point did Kamala Harris push back and tell them that ain't true? You all tell me, at what point did Kamala Harris push back and say that's not accurate? I'm not the first Asian American senator. I am a black American senator. When did she do that? When did she do that? Tell me when she did it. So yes, it is perfectly legitimate to point out the fact that she has distanced herself from black society. She is the one who wanted to market herself as an Asian American. She's the one who did that. We didn't do that. She did it. And Roland has now been sent out by the Democrats to say, go hush them niggas up. Now, let me tell you why that's not going to work. But before I do here, of course, thank you very much to everybody who has contributed to tonight's program, both on YouTube and the Streamlabs. Thank you very much for your support on that. Of course, we prefer Streamlabs, but if you are able to contribute, thank you very much for that. Your support is greatly appreciated as we here in the black media are doing what no one else is doing. Roland at the beginning of this video was begging people to donate. We don't even ask people to donate. If you feel inspired to do so or motivated to do so, go right ahead. Roland needs the money, and you can't trust the nigga that needs the money. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that. I'm not supposed to point that out. Roland Martin needs the money. And if history has taught us as black people anything, it is that we can't trust the nigga that needs the money. When it's somebody who needs the money, he's gonna do anything. He's gonna stab anybody in the back. He's gonna betray anyone. He's gonna do anyone in. So he needs the money. And now he's trying to find the money because he doesn't really have a marketable skill to be able to take out there. That's why he's talking all crazy like this. Kamala Harris made it very clear that she didn't see herself as black. She never claimed blackness before she started running for president. And truth be told, she's still not claiming it now. This is a shell game. Somebody show me the video where she has sat up here and said, I represent black people. Show me the video where she said that. Show me where she has sat up and said that she represents black people and represents black people's interests. These are real simple things that she should be able to do. This should be very simple for her to be able to substantiate. if in fact it is true. If it is true, she shouldn't have any problem at all being able to substantiate that. If it is true. If it is not true, however, then we should be able to bring up articles where she's identified as Asian American, calls herself Asian American, and don't say anything for black people. And that's where we're at today. Now, for the Democrats are in a badass position. You know you're in a weak-ass position when Roland Martin is your messenger to black society. When Roland Martin is the closest you got to having street cred, you know you are in trouble when Roland Martin is your boy from the hood. You know you're in trouble when this is the guy you're counting on to represent black society on your behalf or to speak to black society on your behalf. You know you are in trouble. You're in trouble if you're relying on Roland. You see, what the Democrats don't understand is that the era and the age of the house nigga is over. It's over. You're not going to be able to prop up some well-paid shill and then march him over to black people and say, okay, go talk to your people. You're not going to be able to hoodwink people like you could in days past. The Obama administration was the tail end of that civil rights coon generation having influence. We are the influence now. We write the narrative now. And Roland is completely out of touch. Roland is out of touch. He has no connection to the black street. Roland Martin, you all got to understand, in Roland Martin's world, these are his friends. Take a look on your screen right now. These are Roland Martin's friends. Remember that picture I posted up of Roland Martin all booed up and hugged up with Megyn Kelly? Remember that? Remember the picture that I posted of Roland Martin all hugged up and booed up with Megyn Kelly? Roland Martin was all hugged up and booed up with Megyn. Do you remember that? Yeah, because that is what he identifies with. Roland Martin is a cornball ass little Negro who tells himself that he's something different or something better. That's what he does. So the Democrats are using the only thing that they've got. They're using the only thing that they have. So they're grabbing him and marching him out and saying, go get the rest of your people in line. Go get the rest of your people in line. But Roland ain't got no standing in the streets. So when they put him in front of a microphone, what he did was he resorted to what he really is. When they put him in front of a microphone, all he was really able to do was attack black society and try to tell white folk, I'm with you, boss. I'm with you, boss. That was what he was, the only thing he was really able to do when they put a microphone in front of him. In the most despicable, disgusting display of buck dancing and coonery that you're going to see in your lifetime. When he was put in front of white people, he told them that white folk are not the problem, black people are the problem. White supremacy isn't the problem, black people are the problem. That was what he did. That was what he was able to bring himself to do.
They're talking about Donald Trump Jr. retweeting this, but really, you've got some asinine black folks out there who are the ones who are questioning her blackness, and they are shameful, and they are despicable, and then they should be called out at every turn.
White folk aren't the problem. Black people are. We are our own worst enemy. What about black on black crime? Understand something, people. This is how far they're willing to take it. This is how far they're willing to go. This is how far out there that they are willing to do to get us. because that's what it's really all about. It's about how far are you willing to go? What do we have to do to go after black people? That's the point. How far do we have to go? Because understand, as I've told you all before, if you don't think this is that important, and if you don't think this is that crucial, then explain to me why the Democrats are sinking to these incredible depths, to these obviously corrupted, unreliable depths, if this is really not that serious. If it's really not that serious, then explain to me, why are they doing so much? Why are they pulling out all the stops? Why are they demanding individuals like Roland have to come and kiss the ring and sell their soul? Why are they doing that? They're doing it because they understand that this is it. People, do you know, Roland Martin doesn't have the ability to teach anybody how to get to prosperity. He doesn't have anything to offer black people. Roland doesn't actually have anything to offer, which is why black people succeeding without him is scary as hell. If black people don't acknowledge Roland, he's got nothing to take to white people to say, give me a job. Roland is trying to sit up here and sell himself now as the Negro whisperer. Roland is trying to sell himself now as white folks' boy in the hood. But if black people disown him, as we have, and if black people exile him, as we have, then he doesn't have anything to go sell these people. Now, they're a little slow on it, and they're having to take what they can get, because in reality, they don't have anything. They don't have another option. Without Roland, you all tell me, who do they have without Roland? Who do they got? All right, push Roland to the side. Who do they got? Huh? Who you have? Who are you going to put out there and say, okay, this will be our spokesperson? You're going to put this heifer out there? Zerlina Maxwell? You're going to shove her out there? They tried that. Once again, your so-called liberal network tried it. Your so-called liberal news network had Zerlina Matthews out there. And of course, she goes attacking black men. Of course. She goes sticking up for Kamala Harris's white husband. Of course. And blaming black people. Of course. Her banner picture up there says it all. If you want to know who she sees herself as an ally with, take a look at that banner picture. On your screen right now, that's the banner picture from her Twitter page. Take a look at that banner picture and who she's with. Yeah, this is her team. Take a look how she's got her arm on the white girl's shoulder as if this is a buddy cop film. She knows what she's doing. Now, as you all can see, I didn't know who this woman was before last week. I had no damn idea who she was. I'd never heard of her before. But she blocked me on Twitter. I don't know who she is, never heard of her, never spoke. To my knowledge, I never spoke of her, on her, or anything else. And yet, when I went to go to her Twitter page to see what she was saying, she's got me blocked. Why? A woman I never heard of. Why would I be blocked on her channel? I never heard of you. What she's letting you know is, you ain't heard of me, but I've heard of you. You haven't heard of me, but I've heard of you. So yeah, when she goes on those networks and speaks against black men, she's talking about me. She's talking about me, and she's talking about you here at the New Black Media. She's talking about us. Well, people found out that she's a bedwench. People found that out, and as soon as they posted that, she basically had to run and go hide. She basically ran and hid and said, you all are just haters. So when she got found out, she basically ran and hid. She basically ran and hid as soon as she got found out. Do you all understand that we were able to decapitate this chick? she got decapitated within the first 24 hours. She didn't make it 24 hours after this coonery, and she wound up getting decapitated. You don't think these people are scared? We are controlling the narrative. You don't think these folks are scared? If they weren't scared, then she wouldn't be running and hiding if she wasn't scared. If she wasn't afraid, she wouldn't have blocked me, and I don't even know who you are. She's thinking she's hiding her tweets. People, it doesn't help you to hide your tweets, especially if somebody's got more than one Twitter account. It really doesn't help you, but if you think it's going to assist you, furthermore, you don't even have to be logged into Twitter to see somebody's Twitter feed. But all right, perfectly fine. Go ahead. But I'm not worried about it. When I see you running, that tells me who's really in charge. That tells me who the real power is. When you go running, that tells us who you're afraid of. And she is afraid of us. She is afraid of the black media, and she is afraid of real black society. But these are the people that your so-called white liberal friends are propping up, and it's not working out for them. It could never work out for them. And that brings me back to Roland. As I stated at the beginning of the program, Roland's beef is against black men because Roland has no respect and esteem within black society among the men. There is no one who admires Roland Martin among the men in black society. He isn't admired by any of us. There are none of us who aspire to be like him. And that's what his real beef is. So what he's saying is that if you Negroes ain't gonna bow to me and you are not going to give me unearned benefits, then I will become a collaborator with the dominant society against you. And that's why I call tonight's program Revenge of the Outcasts. Roland is on the outside looking in. Roland is on the outside looking there. He talks about these HBCUs. Roland Martin talks about these HBCUs. Brothers and sisters, tell me how many HBCUs are knocking themselves over to make Roland Martin their keynote speaker. Tell me how many of these places are fighting to make Roland Martin their keynote speaker at these HBCUs that he's so proud of and talking about with such affinity. That should be a simple question. Show me where these HBCUs that have the ability to pay anybody they want to be there. Why is it that none of them are making Roland Martin their keynote speakers? Shouldn't he be making tens of thousands of dollars like all the other keynote speakers at these colleges and universities? Shouldn't he be able to do that if he were really that relevant? Shouldn't he be able to do that? If Roland Martin really had the respect and the esteem of the people in that way, wouldn't he be able to do this? Wouldn't he have the young black men at Brown and Fisk and Morehouse? Wouldn't he have them be able to sit up here, the young black men and women at Spelman and in these other HBCUs? Wouldn't he be able to have them stand up and say, hey, I'm with you. I admire Roland Martin. I want to be like him. Roland was always my idol. Tell me who's doing that. Has Roland Martin ever had anybody sit up here and say that he was their idol? Show me where they did that ever for him. Ever. And the simple fact of the matter is it has never occurred. It's never happened. He's not anybody's role model. He's not the guy that anybody admires. He has no respect among the men. So Roland Martin has become a social suicide bomber. If I can't get respect among the men, then damn it, I'm taking you down with me. Roland can't get respect among the men. He has no respect among the warrior class, which is what the men of every society are. We are the warrior class. And among the warrior class, Roland Martin, first of all, he ain't no damn warrior. Roland Martin has never been a warrior. Take a look at does this look like a warrior to any of you? Any of you watching, does this look like a warrior on your screen? Does this look like a person ready for battle? Or does this look like a dude who's gonna lay down at the first sign of trouble? Very simple question I'm asking. When Roland comes among the Zulu, when Roland comes among the warriors, well, first of all, he can't actually come among the warriors. All Roland can really do is watch the warriors and talk about us. Roland has no battles won. Roland has no enemies vanquished. Roland Martin has been a collaborator and a concubine to every conquering force that has steamrolled him. Roland Martin has sought to become one of the comfort women of whomever is strongest. And yes, Negro, I'm calling you straight like that. Roland Martin fancies himself one of the comfort women among people in power in the dominant society. He's here to demonstrate to them that he's down with the program. But what Roland has done is he has finally betrayed his true intentions and his true hatred for black men. Of all the people he could have singled out, he came after us. And yes, I understand the Democratic Party has been trying to play a game of divide and conquer. Yes, I understand that, and I understand they're the ones who put him up to this, but understand, he's been gearing up for this for a while. They chose him because he's already on board with the message. They didn't have to educate him or convert him. He's already on board with the message. That's the point. He's already on board. He's already down with the program. He's already carrying the water and spreading the message. That's who he is, and that's what he does. He's already on it. So you don't have to worry about or think about or guess about exactly what his intentions are. He's letting you know, this is who I am. I have had utter disgust and contempt for other black men. This is why this little goofy bastard joined a frat, because he thought that was going to be a shortcut to masculinity. Roland talks about being a frat brother because in his mind, that's like a tattoo. It's a way of imprinting some other persona on himself. He doesn't talk about what he's contributed. He talks about the things he's joined. So he joined a frat, and that's supposed to be his manhood credentials. When you ask Roland Martin about his manhood, he starts talking about a frat. He starts talking about the school he went to. He doesn't talk about himself or his character. But then again, I guess you can't discuss what isn't there. Now can you? But he doesn't discuss that. He discusses frats. Because to him, that is the manhood that he's never been able to accomplish or acquire on his own. That's the substitute for the manhood that he ain't really got. That's where he is right now. This is the substitute for the manhood that he doesn't truly possess. And he is angry because probably since his grade school days and his college days, he's never really been that dude that anybody really wanted to claim like that. So, which is why over the years he has always protected females. Now, I'm not going to say that this is a gay situation, but he's always protected females at the expense of black men. He's been willing to go after black men as individuals and as a group, meanwhile protecting females. He's letting you know he is harboring bitterness and rancor toward black men because he's never fit in with the man, because we don't see nothing manly about him. Roland has utter contempt for black men and has all of this hatred and bitterness because when we look at Roland Martin, we don't see a man that we aspire to be like. And that's why you mad, little bug-eyed nigga. You're mad because we don't want to be like you. And it's been made clear publicly with his pinky in the brain looking ass. So you're going to go off of here in the time-worn tradition of coons, sambos, and traitors everywhere. And you going to get with Massa. He's going to get in the middle of a group full of white folk. Now, understand something. I don't give a damn whether you think I'm being harsh. I don't give a damn whether or not you think I'm being mean. I don't care whether or not you think I'm doing too much. Can we all agree on something here? Can we all agree on something that you see on your screen right now to make sure we're all very clear about what should be and what shouldn't be? Take a look on your screen right now, Roland Martin, and you see that he's surrounded by white people. He has gone in the company of white people for the purposes of running down black people and specifically black men. Regardless of what you might think of me, that is off code. That is off code as hell. That is off code as hell to say something like that, to go among a group of non-black people and start talking about, the problem ain't y'all, the problem is these Negroes. That's the real problem. No matter what you might think of what I say, the tone I say it in and whatnot, can we all agree that that's off code as hell? For you to say something like that, for you to do something like that, that is off code as hell. You don't do no mess like that because they wouldn't do it for you. There are no white people coming in a group full of black folk talking about the white folk are the problem. There are no prominent white journalists going in the nearest group of black folk they can find and saying the problem isn't black society, the problem is white folk. They're not doing that. So no matter what else you might think, you got to concede this is off code as hell. This is off code as hell. Now this you can't co-sign. You can't sit here and uphold this. You can't uphold this. No matter what you might say, you cannot uphold this. Make of it whatever you will. This is illegitimate. You don't go off in a group full of non-black people and then turn the topic of discussion into black people when you're talking about what other folk are doing. But more than that, remember what I told you before, white people are truth serum. White people are truth serum. And as such, when white folk ask a question, the answer you get is going to be an honest one. Let's be very clear about that. When white folk ask you a question, the answer you're going to get is an honest one. And Roland has been saying little slick mess like this about us. Black people in general, black men in specific. He's been saying little slick stuff like this about us now for years, behind closed doors, to his white friends, to Megyn Kelly. Remember, black folk came out against Megyn Kelly about that blackface thing. Roland Martin was the one put on the kid gloves with her. Go back and go see what he said. Well, she just needs to understand, and we need to talk about understanding and understand. Yeah, Roland, when he gets around white people, they feel totally comfortable with him because Roland talks about black people the same way that white supremacist society does. That's why they're so damn comfortable in his presence. That's why they're so comfortable having him around. because they know from their conversations with him behind closed doors, oh, he feels like us. He identifies with us. So if he does go and speak about black people or to black people, he's going to carry our message, not theirs. And this is why it was imperative that we in the black media had to remove the Roland Martins from the stage as quickly as humanly possible, and we succeeded in being able to do this. We succeeded at doing it. And now all of these old elements, Ebony, by the way, is Ebony even a factor in this election? LOL. Black Enterprise, Jet, Essence, The Root, Madame Noir. They're all mad because they're all talking about us. They are not pushing the events. They don't have influence anymore. And the Democrats and their sponsors and donors are wondering, what the hell are we paying all these nigga papers for if they can't win an election for us? If Roland Martin cannot deliver the black vote, what are we paying him for? If Roland Martin cannot go out among, quote, his own people and talk them into abandoning this slave revolt, what do we need him for? What are we paying him for? If he can't do that, what are we paying him for? If he's not gonna do it, if he's unable to close the deal, why are we paying him? That's the question that white society, the Democrats, and the media are asking themselves about the Roland Martins and the Zerlina Maxwells and the Michael Eric Dysons. They're asking these questions of their old reliable Negroes or their new reliable bedwenches. They're asking these questions of these people. We are subsidizing you and giving you a salary and paying you and giving you these opportunities, but we expect results. What do you do when you're no longer getting results from the people that you have paid to go and get you results? You're going to need to let them go because you're squandering resources. And as I told you all in 2016, Roland was obsolete. You can't deliver the black vote. You never were able to. You can't deliver it. And now your sponsors are getting upset because they're looking and saying, okay, you need to be able to deliver. It's the only reason that we've got you here. So he's trying to throw up this smoke screen. He's just going to go whole hog after black folk. And then he's going to tell them that that's why he couldn't deliver the black vote, because y'all got to understand, these niggas just stupid. They just stupid. Everything for him is they just stupid now. This coming from the jigaboon who was literally dancing a jig for Hillary Clinton. But the rest of us are the stupid ones. The rest of us are the stupid ones. He was the one literally dancing a jig for Hillary Clinton, but the rest of us are the stupid ones. You got to understand, they say hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Hell also hath no fury like a sissy boy scorned. Roland Martin has never had respect among the men, which is why he made it clear that if this is the last interview he ever has, he wants to tell black males what he really thinks of us. And what he really thinks of us is that he wishes, this is how pathetic you are, Roland. You don't even actually have the ability to harm us as black men. You are powerless. You're powerless to harm us as black men. But what makes you so diabolical and disgusting is that you wish you could. You don't actually have the ability or possess the ability to harm us, but you wish you could. You wish you could harm us. You wish you could hurt us. That's what makes you disgusting and dangerous. Roland can't lay a finger on us. He can't lay a glove on us. He doesn't have the ability to harm us. He is neutered, castrated, and impotent, but he wishes he could do it. He was throwing verbal daggers at black men. He wishes that white society would grant him the authority to be able to harm us. That's what he's upset about. I wish that white society could grant me the ability to harm black men. So supporting Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party, that is his way of, his method, his only outlet to vent his frustrations and to reach out and harm us. That's his only option to do so. So he hates us so much that he is really just reaching out and saying, I wish I could get my hands on you niggas, but I can't really do it because I ain't built like that. But if I could, this is what I would be doing. If I could. If I could make it happen, this is what I would be doing. If I were capable, I'd be doing this. That's what makes him such a despicable specimen. Because he wishes he could harm us, he is unable to, so he is sunken to the gutter low level of calling in white society and saying, please, Father, grant me the ability to harm these Negroes. I'm too weak on my own. I'm too irrelevant and inconsequential on my own, but grant me the ability to harm them. I can't hurt them, but you can, Big Daddy. You can harm them. Bestow upon me your pathetic servant the powers and the abilities to harm these black males. And then tell you I'm standing up for Kamala Harris. This ain't about Kamala Harris, Roland Martin. This is about you. This is about who you really are. Let's be very clear about this. This ain't about Kamala Harris, Roland Martin. This is about Roland Martin. This is about the fact that you have never been respected among us. You have never been respected among the men. You are nobody's role model. You are nobody's icon. You are nobody's aspiration. We don't hold you up as anything that we aspire to be like or that we wish we could become. You're the little goofy fella that we giggle about. You got no backbone. You have no core principles. You have nothing that we wish to emulate. And that's why you don't have the respect of the men, and you never have. And that's what this is about. This is about trying to show us that you can try to figure out a way to harm us because you've been sitting on this. You've been sitting on this anger and this vitriol now for decades. You've been sitting on it all your life. You've been sitting on this anger that you harbor, and you've never been built and never been able to harm black men on your own. You've been sitting on it for decades, and finally you found an outlet through which you can express it, or at least you tell yourself that you can. You've been waiting a long time to get even with black men. You've been waiting a long time to try to get even with us. You've been waiting a long time to let us know what you truly think and how you truly feel. You've been waiting a long time to show black males that if you had the ability, you would inject and twist the knife. If you actually had the ability to do it, then you would be doing it. If you actually could, it's what you would do. And this isn't something new. Roland Martin isn't pulling the cover off of this in 2019. This is what Roland Martin has been all along. Before now, he had something to lose if he went 100% with it. So before now, he's been bird stepping one side to the other. He's been hopping on the fence from one side to the other. He's been jumping from one side to the other before now. But now, because he has been exiled, now he's just letting the real thing come out because he ain't got nothing to lose. He doesn't have the respect of the men to lose. He doesn't have the admiration of the women to lose. He's letting the real thing come out because he ain't got nothing to lose now. There's nothing for him to lose. So you might as well go ahead and let them know what you really think. This might be the last damn interview that you're ever granted. Might as well go ahead and dig in and let them niggas know how I really feel. And let them know what I'm really on. And what I'm really about. That's what this is about now. Demonstrating how he really feels. But you played your hand, Roland. You played your hand, and as I told you, we are putting the epitaph on the tombstone of the dead black media, and that is you. So you can imitate your favorite white supremacists and go into your death throes and start thrashing. You can go ahead and do that. At this point, the only person you can harm is yourself, and we are fortunate that that is the case. The only person that Roland Martin can harm now is Roland Martin. That is the only person he's able to harm. He's not able to hurt the society. He's exposed himself, and what he has done is going to live in infamy. He put the epitaph on his own social existence. And he's far from the only one. I told you all, Donald Trump being in office was going to be a great thing because it was going to demand that everybody openly declare their allegiances. If we have one thing to be grateful for in a Trump presidency, it's that it forced everybody to expose their true motives and to say what they really think and declare what side they're really on. That's what it forced them to do. It forced them to do that. That was what it did. And now they're in a bad situation because now they're realizing we're helpless. You guys have been unable to boost Kamala Harris's numbers. We were able to send them down, but Roland was never able to send them back up again. Kamala Harris had to take a bunch of cheap shots at a debate just to get herself back anywhere near being in the headlines again. But it wasn't because of Roland Martin and MSNBC and TV One and The Root and The Griot and Madame Noir. They didn't have anything to do with this. They've been attacking us in the new black media. They've been attacking us. And they've been attacking us because they don't actually have anything with which to bargain. They don't have anything to bargain with. They were unable and are unable to get Kamala Harris's numbers to recover. If they could have done it on their own, they would have done it on their own. They were unable to do it on their own, and that's why they're attacking us. Because we have influence and they don't. And let me tell you right now, they are sweating bullets. They're sweating bullets because you got a whole year and a half that you're going to have to run cover for this woman. You got a whole year and a half that you're going to have to fabricate black credentials for her while she attempts to deny her blackness. She's going to deny her blackness in front of white people and then try to get you all to be the spokespeople for her imaginary blackness in front of black folk. You're not going to be able to keep this up that long. You're not going to be able to keep this up that long. It ain't going to happen. It's not going to work. This is a marathon, not a sprint. You're not going to be able to parachute in and boost her numbers up and everything's going to be everything. That's not going to work. You ain't got that kind of stamina and she doesn't have that type of time. Like it or not, black people have learned a lot from the evils of the Obama administration. It took a while, but black folks started waking up and seeing the sins and the evils of the Obama administration and the mistakes that we made during the Obama administration and voting for him in the first place. You're not going to be able to so easily trick black people into going for the same trap twice. That's the problem that you find yourself in, Roland. You ain't going to be able to do this twice. That's not going to occur. You're going to have to come out and declare yourself, which is what you've done. But now that you've done it, you can't walk this backwards. And this is good. It is good that everybody is having to openly declare where they stand. It is good that everybody is having to openly state what side they're on. It is good that everybody is having to expose what their ulterior true motives are. It's about damn time that you niggas just finally came out and said it. You're such a idiotic coward, Roland, that you've been hiding for all these years. It's amazing, Roland. This is about as close to manhood as you've actually ever demonstrated. Oh, the irony. This is about as close to being a man as you've ever actually come. This is about as close to manhood as you're ever going to get in your life, that you've actually openly declared one of your core values for a change, instead of trying to hide and lie. Very interesting. You finally did that at this late date. But it's about damn time you niggas finally had enough courage to openly declare what you are and to openly speak against us. It's about damn time you actually did that. So now we don't have, at this point, nobody can defend Roland anymore. They can't defend the dead black media anymore. All that group of also-rans and fellow failures that he drags along behind him in the ox cart, he's not able to redeem their image anymore. People are hearing what he said and they're like, this is bull jive. And our job is to keep our boots on their necks, to keep our foot up their asses, and make sure that they are unable to come back and try to spin this later. It is very good that everyone has openly declared whose side they're on and who they truly represent. It's about damn time. And I wouldn't like it any other way. It's about time that black people had clarity. It's about time that we could see a clear contrast. People are taking a look at you, Roland Martin, literally butt dancing and ass kissing on cable television. People are looking at you and having to ask themselves, is this what I think blackness is? Is this the type of black person I want to be? That's where Roland finds himself right now, in the unenviable position of trying to quantify to a skeptical people. Take a look at me. Take a look at these blank, bewildered, astonished bug eyes. And ask yourself, am I the type of guy you want to grow up to be like? Do I exemplify your definition or your standard of manhood? Roland knows the answer is no. So now he's going down. He wants to see if he wishes he could take a bunch of us with him. Sorry, Roland. On the Coon train, everybody has their own car. You don't get to fill up seats. Everybody's got their own conductor and their own engineer on the Coon train. You don't get to bring passengers along with you on Coon Air. As much as you would love to have company, you are going to go into your demise the way that you went through life, alone, with no one wanting to keep company with you. That's how it ends. Brothers and sisters, we've got the bastards on the run. We've got their bought and paid for coons and professional ass-kissing niggas shook up and scared and frightened. Right now, people ask Jason, what do? Brothers and sisters, we pour on the gas. You dump on the gas by the 55-gallon drum. You just keep pouring it on. We're to be foot to the floor now. We've got the bastards on the ropes. We've got them on the ropes. Now we just need to keep slugging. That's all we need to do. And sit back and smile and watch them all panic. Because for the first time ever, they don't know how things are going to turn out. They don't know how the story ends. For the first time ever, their fate is in someone else's hands. They're not taking to it very well. Our job is to make sure they continue not taking to it very well. If you have not been to our website, blackchannelfilms.com, that is blackchannelfilms.com, you definitely want to go and check out our documentary work, 7 a.m., Gentrified, Ethnic Cleansing American Style, and our newest documentary, Race War, now available for streaming and online on Amazon. That is blackchannelfilms.com, blackchannelfilms.com. If you are new here to the Black Channel, welcome to the haven of intelligent black thought. You have heard 720 degrees of information parceled out logically and rationally, not emotionally or religiously. We break down the facts as no one else can. We dissect the issues as no one else will. And we are able to give you the analysis that no one else is able. So if you have not clicked the subscribe button, you definitely want to do that. We have over 75,000 subscribers at this point. We are not a little thing. We have over 75,000 subscribers. We have a high amount of engagement, something that Roland Martin doesn't have. And our numbers are only continuing to grow, and we want you to be a part of those numbers. So click the subscribe button, and after you click subscribe, you will see the little bell to give you notifications for when we're broadcasting. Make sure you do that as well. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of the BlackChannel.net radio program. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. Until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, black is the future, and the future is uncompromising.